Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamara. I hope you're here today to see what I've created for the Modes4U Halloween Sewing Challenge. This is a very interesting opportunity that I was presented with this company Modes4U. They contacted myself and 4 other sewists from YouTube and asked if we'd like to participate in a Halloween sewing hop. So 2 of the other sewists have already revealed their items prior to today, and the last 3 of us are actually going to be revealing to you today what we've created. So the way that the challenge worked is they sent us a mystery box of fabric. When we got it, we were challenged to make something crafty out of each of the spooky Halloween prints that were contained within. Now, no one knew prior to receiving the box what those prints might be or how the scale might work. And so for me specifically, if you follow my channel, I was concerned about the scale. The reason is that I primarily sew specifically for fashion dolls. I rarely sew human clothes and I rarely do any home decor. So I was concerned if the fabric prints were very large, I would be challenged to get out of my wheelhouse and do something different. And I'm happy to say that's exactly what I did. So I hope you enjoy this presentation of what I've made for these products. I'm going to reveal it one piece of fabric at a time to show you both the beautiful print that they sent me, the name of the fabric in case you're interested in purchasing it for yourself, and also what I've created from that individual piece. But before we get started, let me remind you that if you're interested in purchasing some Halloween fabric from Modes4U.com, from now until October 31st, they're offering an additional 10% off your total purchase by using the Halloween 2021 code. So if you have fabric that you need, I highly suggest that you check out their website. They've got a huge assortment of fabric, and they also have additional things like stationery and squishies, washi tape, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, and a variety of other things. So it's a pretty cool website, and I highly recommend that you go to it, Modes4U.com. I also encourage you to stay with me until the end of the video because Modes4U has authorized each of the sewists to give away a little bit of a prize for the people that were willing to follow along with the challenge. Now that prize you can use as a gift card towards Modes4U.com, and it will be awarded to one of the people that make a comment to this video in the description box below. So please watch till the end of the video, and please let me know some of your favorite Halloween memories or some of the favorite crafts that you've done either independently or with your children in the past for Halloween. Just share with the community things you like about this time of year, and I look forward to awarding that gift card to you guys back on October 20th. So today is October 13th, and this is the reveal of what I've made for the Halloween challenge. So when I received my mystery box, it had not only the fabric in it, but also some additional cute little things that they've included to make it a special package. It was washi tape, and again, I think that's the correct way to say it, but I'm not sure, in this 2 cute different patterns, which I have shown here in the picture. It was a cute little squishy, which I've never actually seen this before, but it was quite entertaining, and I give it to one of my nieces. In addition to that, they included these cute Halloween pics, and as you can see, they have little characters on, and this would be perfect for your next Halloween party, or to stick in some hors d'oeuvres or cheese, or just to have available for something fun. Let's go ahead and get started with the actual fabric that was in the box. So when I first got the fabric for the Halloween challenge, I thought about El Dia de los Muertos. I love the Day of the Dead. I love the Latino culture and all the things it represents as it celebrates people's loved ones who have passed before them. My initial reaction to my box was to do most of the items around the Day of the Dead. Thinking about the Day of the Dead, I immediately went to the dollar store and bought everything I thought that I could turn into a nice accent piece for the fabric. I got skulls and plates and all sorts of different items that I thought would make it a festive table setting. So my initial goal was to do a table runner with skull decorations and also maybe a window treatment. When I got the fabric though, I didn't feel like the candy skulls and the black cats necessarily went well together, as I saw one as more of a mature theme than the other. So I decided to start first with the black cats. And the name of this fabric is Black Cat Fish Skeleton Flower Fabric by Timeless Treasures. So what I decided to do with that particular piece is to go with the theme of the actual table decorations, and I'll show you what I did. The first thing I did was I actually just created a table runner with the fabric, and I edged it out in this hot pink fabric. So because the fabric was just a yard, I actually split it in the center so the cats are actually going in both directions. And I like the way that it turned out, and I thought it was a good accent for my table. Then I decided I wanted to make some napkin holders utilizing that very unique and cute cat silhouette. So I cut out the silhouette and I fused single-sided interfacing to it, and then I mounted it on a piece of heavy stock cardstock, and that's what I ended up getting. So I used 6 different of the cats to create this napkin holder, and those are displayed in the center of the plates. Let me show you a few pictures of the finished product on my actual table downstairs. So for the next fabric that we got, which I really did enjoy quite a bit, we had this beautiful Alexander Henry dark taupe Halloween skull fabric with the woman and roses. Now this one really challenged me because this fabric is too big for the scale that I sew for dolls, so I thought I would challenge myself to make an actual human shirt. Now for many of the people competing in this Halloween challenge with me, that would not seem to be a challenge, but for me, because I never ever sew for human people, it was actually quite fun and exciting to do that. My mom reminded me that the last time I've sewn anything for a person was when I was a sophomore in college, and that was a few years ago. So I took my fabric and I took this pattern which I found that I had in my stash, which is a Simplicity 8127 pattern, and it's just called 6 Made Easy. So it's just a very easy top, which I chose to do a sleeveless top without a collar. It has a little bit of a sweetheart neckline, and I really like how it turned out. So this is the actual top that I made, and this was a yard of fabric, so that was a challenge to figure out what to make with it that would only take a yard. I was able to get the entire project done with that fabric. The only exception is this front lining piece, and I used just a piece of brown in order to offset it. So it's a sleeveless, it's 2 parts in the front, 2 parts in the back, and I just really enjoyed how this neckline turned out. So I'll give you a few photographs of this. All right, so that is 2 of the 4 fabrics that we've done so far. So I was really surprised how the next part of the project turned out. One of my favorite things about creating stuff is just getting an idea and then trying to come up with the different supplies you're going to need to make that idea come to life. So the panel fabric is called Halloween Dogs in Costumes by Michael Miller. And what it had on it were 4 small panels and 1 larger panel in the center. And it was super cute, and I thought it would be fun to do something for one of my friends who actually is a kindergarten school teacher. So I thought about what I could do, and I thought instead of sewing treat bags or something that would not really show the true beauty of the fabric as much as I wanted to, I decided to go with a Halloween advent calendar. So it came to me that if I got some painting canvases, 12 by 12 painting canvases, I could mount the fabric, and then I would go ahead and figure out a way to put the numbers on the advent calendar for Halloween, and then I would use the extra material for the treats. So this is actually how I did it. This is actually just a piece of 12 by 12 canvas, as you can see. I painted the background black to match the fabric, and then I actually just glued the fabric panel onto it. Then I took some small tiny wooden clothes clips that I received at the dollar store, and I spray painted them black. And on Pinterest I found these really cute numbers that were already looking very Halloween-esque. So I just attached the little numbers onto the advent, and then I put corresponding numbers onto the extra pieces of fabric and made the treat bags out of those. So this is the 1 through 8. Let's see. Here we have the second piece, and I think that one is really cute. We have the third piece here. And as you can see, they're very small and contained, and I placed them all together on a wall hanging. So I think that that would probably be a really cute way to do it. After I had the pieces completed, I took the extra bags and I also placed a number on those. So I guess, you know, the idea would be the same as you would imagine. A child or person would pick the number and then search through the bucket to find the number that corresponds. I had a lot of different ideas about how this might be fun for children. If you did one trick and then every other day a treat, or if you did a joke, Halloween joke, or if you did different things like that, just to engage kids and have them look forward to something as they're doing their countdown to their trick-or-treating event on Halloween. Now, my mom is a huge supporter of mine, and so is my husband. Thank you very much, both of you. And she thought that it would be really, really important if I tried to incorporate something from my wheelhouse into this project. So as I said before, I sew for dolls, fashion dolls, from 7 to 22 inches, and some BJD dolls. And in this case, I thought, what's the largest doll that I have, and how can I go back to that theme of El Dia de los Muertos and actually utilize that doll? So I looked at the selection of patterns that I have available, and I decided that I would try to incorporate the candy skulls into a dress or outfit for the Ipple House EID doll. So that fabric that we're using is called Black with Colorful Skull Fabric by Timeless Treasures. Of the fabric that I received, all of it was really lovely cotton fabric, but this candy skulls, I think if I had lots and lots of yards of that, I could make a ton of things out of it, because I just really think it's a very fun and festive print, and I think it's just great. So what I decided to do is I took the opera pattern and incorporated the candy skulls into the skirt, leaving the center panel black. And then, just like I did on the napkin holders or napkin rings, I decided that instead of having the whole thing be busy with the candy skulls, I would cut them out, fuse them to some interfacing, and create sort of a front panel that has a variegation from very busy to not as busy at the bottom. Once I had that done, I was kind of stuck on what I should do with the top. The Day of the Dead has lots of different costumes. The main elements of the costumes is skulls, also colors, lots of beautiful flowers and things like that. So I took a pattern that I have for the EID, which is called the Claire Wedding pattern, and I used the top portion. It looks a little bit gypsy-like. It has some gathers to the sleeves, and again, I used that bright fuchsia fabric as an accent piece, and then I also added those candy skull appliques to the centerpiece, which I think turned out pretty great. So then I decided, what am I going to do? I need to maybe just punch it up one more level, and I wanted to make her an actual Day of the Dead mask. Now, if you're a doll collector, most people wouldn't feel inclined to paint their Ipple House doll for a sewing challenge, although it did cross my mind. But in this case, what I used was some DOS air drying clay, and I just slowly built it up. I laid some plastic wrap over her face and created the mask, and then I just sanded it until I got what I felt was a reasonable mask. Once I had the mask done, I tried to refer back to the fabric for the colors and the different designs that I wanted to utilize on it. And finally, I put the flowers in her headband, and this is the final look. All right, so we've made it to the end of what was created during the Modes4U Halloween Sewing Challenge. I hope you've enjoyed what you've watched today. I would encourage you to always look for creative ways to spend your time and use your imagination as best you can. I found it to be extremely fun to have something different and random to do, and I really appreciate Modes4U contacting me and giving me this opportunity to share my interpretation of their beautiful fabrics with you. I will remind you once again that Halloween 2021 code still is present and active on their website until October 31st. And I encourage you to go and look at Sheree Thomas's video, as well as also Petite, which are two of the sewists that have revealed their outfits prior to today. Now, I will leave a link in the description below to the other 4 sewists that participated in the challenge. Each of us has been awarded that opportunity to give you a gift card for 30 euros by listing in the comment section below your favorite Halloween memories, favorite Halloween craft ideas, or what you plan on wearing for Halloween this year. Any of those things are appropriate. So I think that wraps it up for today. The Modes4U Halloween Challenge has been complete. Please make sure to check the description below and look at the other 4 sewists videos regarding what they made from the same beautiful fabric from Modes4U. Use that coupon code, get your Halloween on, and I'll see you in the next video.